This has become a bit of a favourite pipe. This little bent billiard, is it, or a bent apple? This is from Carey's Pipe and Tobacco. It's one of their own pipes. They're Briar and they're made in Italy. Very very small, dinky little pipe, but I really like this size and this shape, and it's a great little pipe. So here I am. Having a sit down at the end of a longish day at work, and what am I thinking about? I am thinking about the need to take time, I think. Yeah. Um, what are you doing, Minnie? Um, so I'm just sort of thinking about the need to take time, and I think that's certainly about planning and making decisions, and just in life in general, really. Uh, I'm trying to think of examples of where that's important. Hmm. Yeah, I realised that I had been a particularly lazy pipe smoker, and there was a blockage in this pipe, and that was the reason that I was having so much trouble with it, and it wasn't staying alight. So bad pipe maintenance on my part, naughty pipe smoker. Yeah, taking time. I've been looking at choices of tools for the new workshop, and in particular a lathe, because that's probably the most significantly large piece of equipment that I'll be buying. All the others will have multiple uses. But I just don't have the space or the floor space in the new workshop to really have a big heavy duty lathe. I've got to have something that's more kind of a hobbyist, more sort of lighter weight, not so industrial. And as always with these things, I had it all planned. I'd researched, I'd narrowed it down, blah de blah de blah, chosen a particular lathe, looked at forums, websites, hobby engineers, model engineers, radio control enthusiasts, you name it. Absolutely sure I was going to go for this particular lathe, only to now upscale it to a slightly heavier duty one, because I figured the more capacity you can't add more capacity to the way to a lathe, so you haven't got sufficient swing or space between the on the flatbed or whatever. You can't increase that, so slightly bigger is probably better. um, so now I've had to go out and re-research it all again and look at completely different models. And I'm saying that like as though I'm really put out, but it's time consuming. But I think ultimately I'll probably make a better decision, and that's the way to look at it. Um, and at the end of the day, a lathe is a serious piece of kit and a big investment for anybody, because you're going to buy lots of extra tools. And I even started to think, well, actually, do you know what? If I had a milling machine or a milling machine attachment, I could do this, and this. So I've had to kind of rein myself in and stop myself there and slow down a bit and think again about that, because that's taking me off in a tangent, and I need to focus on the projects that I actually want to work on and what do I need the lathe to do and all the rest of it. So that's what I've worked out, and it just kind of reminds me that, it's not a race. It's not a race. It's like a good pipe. Um, if you pack it right and you have some thought about it and you put some nice tobacco in it and you have a good cup of coffee or a good cup of tea or whatever, and you take a moment, you realise how much more satisfying it is. And I think it's the same with choosing a big piece of equipment like that. That I'd only be competing with myself, so it really doesn't matter. I just need to sleep on it. I do this a lot. I reflect. I sleep on things. I wake up, and if it's still in my head in the morning, if it still seems like a good idea, I'll have another look at it, revisit it, and all the rest of it. And I think then you make better decisions. So the importance of taking time. That's kind of where I'm coming from, I think. In life, I guess in general as well, not just decisions we make about hobbies or interests or business, but everything in life. Sometimes you need to take time. You need to reflect on things, because it's like one of the sayings I have for myself is that the first response is not always the best response. Sometimes people will say things and we feel ourselves getting a bit worked up about it, or we don't agree with it. Maybe we don't like their opinion and you feel a bit annoyed, or you feel like you want to respond and you've got to say something. And sometimes it's better to bite your tongue, think about it, think about where that person's coming from, what makes them think that, why do they believe that. Oh, actually, yeah, I can see their point of view. It's not my point of view, but maybe they've got a point. It's their view, not my view. And sometimes you have a different response when you give yourself that time and you come at it in a different way. Um, mm, mm. Smoking a lot better now. Note to self: clean your pipe. So yeah, take time. I think I I will make some films. I think on the new workshop, I will try and do that. Um, it's something that I would like to do if it would help other people. Um, I have mentioned that one of the things I want to do is make pipes. I will show my first versions of those, mistakes and all. I don't have a problem with that. Um, I don't think you necessarily get good straight away. I think you've got to practice your craft and work up to it. And again, that's about time and giving it time, appreciating, as you go along and learning from the mistakes and that. So yeah, just a quiet moment here. Mm. that's it, I think, really. So give yourself time to make the important decisions. I think that's the motto for today, and I'll leave you in peace.